it is important in an organization to try to understand, particularly now in the times we're operating in, you know, the job insecure times, and less people do more work, that we identify what is it that's inhibiting people's, making them ill, inhibiting their productivity. What causes people problems at work? What is stress? Now don't get too worried if you have a lot of these symptoms. Just raise your hand quietly. And there's you see a guy in the white coat sitting back there with a stethoscope, he'll come and get you. Basically, pressure is stimulating the motor, so there's no problem with that. You're all in leadership management roles. You love it. You know, you like the pressure. But when pressure exceeds your ability to cope, that's not good news. All right? So these are behaviors that indicate you're near the dividing line, but just ordinary stimulating pressure and stress. So you can see feeling irritable with people, having difficulty making decisions, a lot of suppressed anger, loss of sense of humor. Your behavior changes, right? The pressure is getting to you, and all of a sudden when you go out with your colleagues for lunch, you're no longer doing it. In meetings, you're usually very cooperative. You start becoming more aggressive. Well, it doesn't happen in Cumbria, by the way, but just to let you know this happens outside of Cumbria. All right? You can see, and then of course it could lead into physical symptoms. That means you're now in the stress zone. You're outside the pressure zone. And you can see as a psychologist I win every which way. Either you have lack of appetite, you crave for food, or you get constipated or have diarrhea. So I'm a winner here. No, but basically we all, if I was to say to any one of you, when you're under excessive pressure that you're not coping, how does it affect you? You'll say, I don't sleep well at night, or I get flatulence, or I get lots of aches and pains, or I get headaches. We all have our own physical way of physical symptoms of it, which now we're in the stress zone, not in. And by the way, if you're a good coper, right, then your pressure and stress level, the place at which pressure turns into stress is much higher, right? You can tolerate a lot of pressure before you go into the stress zone. If you're a lousy coper, like I'm a good scientist and I'm a good researcher, but I'm not a good coper, right? My level's probably down here. If I get too much, if I get pressure down here, I can go in the stress zone right away because my coping strategies might not be good. So it depends a lot on you as an individual. Factors intrinsic to the job. Every job is different. Every company or organization has its own stress fingerprint. Every sector has its own stress fingerprint. So factors intrinsic to it will be different. But the main ones are too much work, also too little work. We're finding now that if people don't have enough to do, that's stressing them because they think that their senior management know they don't have enough to do, and there's cuts coming, particularly this is in the public sector. So there's a lot of worries about underload rather than necessarily just overload. Relationships, as I said, because we know in Cumbria it's wonderful here. So for example, relationships with boss, colleagues, clients, patients, whoever the hell you're dealing with, really important. That gets you up in the morning. If you have really good relationships at work, it's fantastic, right? But we know in Cumbria, for example, that probably every day your boss, whoever your line manager is, whatever level you are, tells you at least once a day what a good job you're doing. Is that right? Because Cumbria is a very pleasant, friendly place. Is that right? All right, maybe I'm exaggerating. I do come from Hollywood. Let's say maybe once a week, a manager, your line manager, in your career, maybe once a week, a line manager told you what a good job you're doing on a particular thing. Maybe February 27th, 1987, you can remember somebody telling you. It's quite interesting. The point I'm trying to make here is that managers tell you when you do something wrong. Rarely enough will tell you when you do something right. And yet the science shows that the person who is more likely to motivate you, stimulate you, engage you, or damage you is a manager. So I think this relationship thing is quite important, particularly the boss. The science shows the boss can damage people more than anybody else. The role you play in the organization, how much control and autonomy you have in your role is very, very important. What we really want is people coming to work who are healthy, right? We want that one at the top. That's the one we really want. What are you doing to train managers on their management style? What are you doing to enhance the social and interpersonal skills of managers? when you're training them at undergraduate or MBA level. What kind of training do you do? Managing people, not HR policy, not marketing, not economics, none of that garbage. That's all cognitive. I'm not talking to that. What skill base are you doing? And they all said nothing. Or they didn't say nothing. They said, well, we have that half a day where we do that. Or we do that, you know, we do 2 hours on that course. But do you, what are you doing? So you're training these people cognitively with information, but you're not actually training them to manage human beings. That's their main job. You, in leadership roles, are responsible not only for the production, productivity of your work, but to their health as well. The way you treat people will be the critical factor. Because as well, if you look at some of the other things I said, control, who gives people, who engages people? The manager. Who determines whether they have manageable workloads? The manager. Who determines whether they feel valued by the way you treat them? The manager. So all the factors that the science tells us cause people to get ill are actually in your hands.